Welcome to Flock Talk, the ultimate jam band community podcast where the grooves are endless and the vibes are infectious. Join your host, Kara, Nikki, and Jess as we dive deep into the colorful world of jam band lifestyle, culture, and community that make this genre truly unique. In each episode, the Femme Flock, that's us, are bringing you insightful discussions and interviews with members of our diverse community, including current trends, travel, fashion, art, events, and the social side of the scene. So grab your glitter, bubble guns, and best show fit and join us on Flock Talk, where the people make the scene sparkle. This month on the pod, the Flock talks fashion. We have two interviews with prominent fashionistas on the scene. First up is our chat with the one and only BabaCool herself, Brooke Hancock, followed by an in-depth dive into the jam fashion scene with Maggie. Take it away, ladies.
Hi, everyone. This is Jess and Kara, and we are here today with Brooke from BabaCool.
Hi.
And she is coming off of 3 nights in Indianapolis on Fish Tour. Brooke, welcome to the pod.
Hi, thanks for having me.
Of course, we're excited to have you. I guess to begin, would you mind just telling us a bit about yourself, what you do, and a little bit about BabaCool and why we had you on?
Yeah, totally. My business, BabaCool, is I make sunglasses, bedazzled sunglasses. It started about 10 years ago. I guess technically the business has been around for more than 10 years, but the sunglasses, it will be 10 years starting next year. And it is my full-time job since 2018. I run my own website, kind of do Etsy a little bit now, but I'm mostly on my own website now. Instagram, all that. It's a pretty sweet gig.
That's awesome. You've been able to just go off, create your business and succeed and go on tour.
I feel very blessed.
What did you do before sunglasses? You said sunglasses has been 10 years.
Right. Kind of just this and that. Like I was pretty young and just wanting to see as many Fish shows as I wanted to. So I just wanted to sell something in the lot. Like at that time, I just wanted to make money for like gas and tickets. So I didn't really need much. So I made like flower crowns and like macrame bracelets. I figured out how to do the Fishman donut pattern on bracelets. That was kind of like the first thing. And I still make the bracelets. I don't do the flower crowns anymore. The bracelets stuck around. But yeah, the glasses came along pretty soon after that.
Have you always been creative, crafty?
Totally. Yeah, very much so.
That's so cool.
So what inspired you to do the sunglasses? I think that's what everybody knows you for, just because we see them everywhere and like on our Instagram feeds, we see them. So what inspired you to start that?
Yeah, there was a larger trend happening that had been, I feel like I had been seeing it for years before I started doing it. I've always been really into fashion and following fashion trends. I've always read the fashion magazines, and I used to pay a lot of attention to runway fashion. And that's where I first started seeing these like embellished sunglasses with crazy like flowers and 3D and just very intricate designs. And I had been following that trend for a while. And I was just like, that's so cool. I feel like that's something I could easily do, but I wanted to figure out how to make it like fish or music specific. I don't know. It's just, there's those letter beads that you use for like friendship bracelets and stuff. I'm just like, why don't I just throw song lyrics on there, So like I made one pair that said Fluffhead and I put them on my Etsy and they sold. And then I made 5 more that had like different lyrics and then all of those sold. And so like I brought them on tour and they just like took off. People loved them. It just like kept snowballing. I just kept making more and more and got more creative with it. And here we are.
Do you ever like walk around a lot and you're like, oh, I made those. Oh, I made those.
Yeah. Yeah, everywhere. Yeah. It used to be if I saw decorated sunglasses, they were mine. There wasn't really anyone else, at least not on any large scale, not that I or any of my customers saw. It was like really easy to tell, like, and there also like weren't that many of them around in general. So if I saw them, I knew that I made them. Whereas now I have to sometimes get a closer look to see if they're mine, because there's like quite a few people doing them now, which is great. The more the better.
Do you ever like stop someone and you're like, wait, did I make those?
I mean, I usually only approach someone if I know that I made them. And yeah, now there's so many of them that I don't always say hi, but So if I'm somewhere where like maybe not a fish show where there's so many of them, if I'm like, you know, maybe some other show and I see someone wearing my glasses, I'll come up, introduce myself. Yeah, I made those. And it's a really good way to like talk to people and meet people because I go to a lot of shows solo. Not so much these days, especially fish, because even if I try to go solo, it's like I've met so many
Someone
people
you know.
that just like it doesn't really I'm not alone for that long. But it's been a really good way for me to kind of like break out of my little shell, you know, because I can be kind of shy and introverted. So it's a fun way to talk to people.
How do you decide what lyrics you're gonna put on the sunglasses? Because like
Yeah.
you've started like Taylor Swift ones,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
you have the Dead, and
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
you have a process, or you just get inspired?
I kind of just get inspired and like I always am listening for short lyrics, you know, because like it has to be short and sweet and simple. You know, the more symmetrical, the better. I don't know. I've been doing it so long now that I just am kind of always doing it unconsciously without even knowing I'm doing it, just listening for these symmetrical, short, catchy phrases. I like to do lyrics that like make sense even if you don't know the band or the song. You can look at it and be like, oh, that's funny, or like, oh, I like that, you know?
I saw the ones that said "step into the freezer," and I'm not really a fish person. I would wear that.
Yeah, and I
think
put the
it's
little like
funny.
ice cream cone or popsicle, you know? Yeah. Like I mean, people compliment them all the time because I wear them everywhere. And my friends wear them everywhere. And yeah, I just get compliments like walking down the street, at the grocery store, at the gas station.
Do you have like a stack at home? You're like, I'm feeling like these ones today.
I don't actually. I have one pair that I wear. Like I have a few that I've made for myself, but then there's always that one pair that I wear everywhere.
What's your pair?
I'm kind of in between pairs right now because I had my favorite ones that I had 4 years and I lost them in Iceland last year. I left them in a bathrobe at the spa at the Blue Lagoon.
Oh no.
Yeah, but it's okay. They had 4 years, but they said feeling groovy, and they had these cute little daisies and little like colorful. They weren't rhinestones; they were like opaque, like candy dots, just like really happy and fun. And I haven't quite found the right pair yet. So I've been rocking like some Cadillac rainbows with the rainbow gems. I like the round frames. That's kind of my style.
Do you have a favorite like fashion trend in the scene right now, aside from like people wearing your sunglasses?
I'm definitely biased towards the sunglasses, but no, there's these necklaces by the brand is called Rad and Refined, and she's been doing like, so it's like these little, it'll have like a picture, you know, they're like kind of choker style, like short necklaces, kind of bedazzled around the picture. And so she does a bunch, like there'll be like pictures of Trey or Mike or Billy. Billy wore one that had Trey's face on it, and now Billy's wearing one that has his dog's face on it.
Oh, that's so funny.
And there's, I don't know how much you guys have seen like the visuals from the Sphere during the fish run at the Sphere. I'm wearing the shirt.
I love it.
Yep.
The dog, and she did one with the dog. And then another trend, I don't know that they've quite taken off yet because it's a new thing, but someone is making pasties, custom nipple pasties.
No way.
Yeah, that have like Trey's face
God.
or Mike's face, and like I got some that have the dog.
I don't know how much like I like that.
Oh my God, I love pasties. I'm like obsessed. I got some that have the dog's face. So like at Mondegreen, I'm gonna wear the pasties under this shirt. I'm just gonna like flash people.
Please do.
Oh my God, I'm obsessed. Wait, that's so funny. Do you know who makes the pasties?
So her business name is Tracy's. Trey, where the paste part would be. Her name's Sarah. She's awesome.
That's so funny. Okay, I have some shopping to do.
Definitely.
Do you find that most of your business actually comes from like Lot or your website or Etsy?
Yeah, I used to do my sales, my online sales and my in-person like lot sales used to be pretty comparable, and I was actually capable of making more money online because I could just make more inventory versus like I go on tour and when I'm out, you know? But Instagram has shifted a lot. I depended a lot on Instagram for my online sales, and that's been like shifting a lot, and a lot of small businesses and artists have been struggling right now with Instagram. Right now my lot sales are like way better than online.
Is it like the algorithm changed that?
Yes. Yeah. And
You're
it's
just not
like,
getting as much organic traffic.
Yeah, because when I started I've been on Instagram for 10 years, almost 10 years. And back then there weren't ads. That wasn't a thing until a few years ago. And so now it's kind of like you got to pay to play, either that or you have to really outsmart the algorithm, especially like with the reels. They really want you to make the reels. They want you to use the trending audios, you know, and like make these catchy little videos. And like I know what they want me to do. Like I know how to do it. I've done it. Like I can get the views. I just like don't want to. You know, some of it's kind of cringy, and
you want to be authentic to you and your brand.
Yeah, exactly. So I'm trying to figure out how I can do that, like give the algorithm what it wants, but yeah, still remain authentic, not come off totally cringy, selling my soul. My product is very niche. I'm like a niche product in a niche market.
Have you seen
with a niche
spillover though,
band.
like the rave community or like some of these other like tight-knit music?
Yeah.
I feel like it's very similar. I'd see maybe not like Fish lyrics on sunglasses, but like the Taylor Swift lyrics. That's the Swiftie community is massive.
Yeah, totally. Yeah. And I haven't quite broken into that market yet. Like my Taylor Swift glasses have done really well, but it's all like just crossover community. Just crazy because I'm like, I don't know if I can even handle it. If I do breakthrough into the mainstream
kind of
Swiftie market, I'm like, I don't know if I'm ready for that.
You're just a one-man production. You do everything by hand yourself.
Yeah, it's all me. I do like all the production, all the marketing, all the shipping, all of the website stuff, all the social media.
Wow.
It's all me.
That's
it's a lot. And it's also like when I'm in the lot, I very rarely have a helper with me. It's hard to find someone I trust that is down to like actually work and not be partying hardcore, you know, and like and I get that. But yeah, I'm very picky about who I'll let come in my booth and like who I'll let come on tour with me. I'm very picky about who I'm gonna let in the car with me. Like I tour solo most of the time because I don't have time for anyone's bullshit. Like I'm very like perfectionist, control freak. I'm a Virgo, so I'm like very stereotypical. Yeah, very stereotypical Virgo. So like I'm
want it your way and you get it.
Exactly. I want everything.
It's got to be the way it needs to be.
Yes, exactly. And like I'm pretty sober these days, like not completely sober, but like I'm not partying and I'm on the ball. I want to leave when I want to leave, you know? So yeah, it's hard to find a helper when you're that way.
Do you travel with like a cooler full of sunglasses?
I've got bins.
Just bins.
Yeah, just bins of sunglasses. Yeah. And then I bring my stuff on the road too, like my materials to make sunglasses. So when I'm in a hotel room like I am right now, I'll maybe crank out a few and fill in the gaps. You know, if I sell out of certain styles that I know people are going to want more of, I'll make more of those. But it's kind of a whole thing, like bringing all of that stuff and then like lugging it into the hotel room. Sometimes I do it while I'm camping, and then it's a whole like just have to make sure I have shade. And then if it starts raining, it's like a whole it's a full production. That's an environmental factor if I'm doing it while I'm camping.
Have you done any collaborations with any other like fashion shops, I guess, in this scene?
Yeah, no, I have. There is my friend Silas does painted sunglasses. His business is called Nice Shades. We've done a couple collaborations where he'll paint the glasses and he'll leave some space for me to put in the lyrics and like add some bedazzlements and all that stuff. So like those are really fun.
We should probably do some custom Femme Flock sunglasses, Jess.
Definitely. Yeah. And I've done so many fun custom orders.
I want a pair of custom Femme Flock sunnies.
Out of like all the sunglasses you've ever made, what are your favorite customs that you've had ordered? I bet there's some good ones out there.
It's definitely a tie. There are two that definitely go right to the front, no question. And that's a couple of years ago, I made a pair for a guy who was going to propose to his girlfriend at a fish show. And she loves BabaCool. And so he reached out and was, I can't think of like a better way to pop the question than to like ask on a pair of sunglasses, you know? And so he asked me to make a pair that said, "Will you marry me?" When he like got down on one knee, he like had the glasses, you know, and like he also had a ring too, but it was like the glasses were popping the question. And then they got married recently. And so I made another pair that said, "Just married." and actually ran into her in the lot yesterday wearing them at the show. Yeah.
Oh, that's so special.
I have done more, like I've made a few like just married, or like I make a lot for people who want to wear them at wedding reception. I've done a few like bridal themed ones for sure. But then my other favorite was a custom order for Big Red himself, Trey Anastasio. His daughter Bella is a good friend of mine, and she has a pair. I mean, she has a million pairs, but she had this one pair in particular that said "Dead to the Core." And for Father's Day, she requested a pair that said "Dad to the Core" and gave them to him for Father's Day. And then they like took pictures and everything. It's like a whole thing. It was just the most adorable thing ever. Like there's a picture of them both like together wearing the glasses, and
there's your organic marketing right there.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah. It blew up after that. And actually, in the lot this weekend, my friend Ryan, he's a painter. He's always doing like live paintings in the lot. Someone came up to my booth and they were like so excited. They were like, "We're buying the painting from Ryan. It's like Trey wearing your glasses." And I was like, "What are you talking about?" Like, I had no idea he was painting that. And they were like, "Yeah, he's down there painting it right now. Like, we already paid him for it." And so like on my way into the show, I went and saw the painting, and like sure enough, he like transformed it into this beautiful painting, Trey wearing the glasses.
That's so cool.
That's so sweet.
Super
I love
fun.
that so much.
I know, he's a really great guy too. Yeah, it's great. Yeah, really cool moment.
So many artists. Everyone is so talented.
I know, it's so cool. It's so cool. And this is such a good lot for it too. The shakedown is like massive. So I wish I could get away from my booth more to like see it all, you know. I have to miss a lot of it. There's a lot of really talented people out there.
Aside from the ones that you've mentioned, do you have any favorite shops that you like frequent on lot, or places that you buy a lot from for shows?
Yeah, there's so many. I mean, Girl Tour is crushing it right now. They're one of my favorites just for like t-shirts and stickers, and they just have really funny, like more like femme designs, you know, which I'm really into. And then my friend Anne, her business is called Tail Feathers. The feathers is with a PH, obviously. And she does incredible patchwork, like custom patchwork, like on hoodies and sweatshirts and stuff. But I have a custom from her. I'm way overdue for a new one, but like I have a custom that's got like a whole like mountain scene with like the little dancing bears around a fire, and there's little like fish Easter eggs in there, like little cacti up on the mountains and a little mockingbird flying through the sky. And she does such like detailed, beautiful work, and she's such an amazing person. And along those same lines, my friend Sarah with Reclaim Purpose, she also does like really cool patchwork and like upcycled stuff, really creative. She used to make these ticket stub necklaces. Like she would take the fish tickets by mail when they were like the really pretty tickets with artwork on them, you know. She would cut them up. I think she put them in like resin or something, but she would make little pendants out of them. And that was how, like when I first met her, that's what she was doing. And I got some of those from her.
Yeah, I think I've seen those before.
I think she started doing them again recently. I'm not sure. I think she stopped because she wanted to find a more like eco-friendly way to do it. But yeah, she might be doing them again. But yeah, I always really liked those. I thought they were really creative.
I never know what to do with those, with the tickets by mail, or if you get like a lanyard or something from a show, like a VIP lanyard. It's like, okay, I just have another one now. What do I do with it? Like,
yeah, that's why it was such a cool idea. And then, because it's so much better than it sitting in a box, you know.
That's exactly where mine are.
Wear it.
That's exactly where mine are. They're in a box.
Yeah, same. Most of mine, it really are.
Do you have any tips for anyone who's starting a business or a shop? Businesses that cater like specifically to the jam scene?
I think just be unique. Find a way to make it your own, even if it's something that someone's like kind of doing already. Like find a way to make it your own. Keep it authentic to like your vision. And
well, in that same vein, like we've kind of talked about it, but like a lot of knockoffs, or I guess maybe not knockoffs, but replicas or people who've been inspired by you have popped up on this.
Right. Yeah.
How do you feel about that?
I don't mind it. It doesn't, I think it's just part of living in a capitalist society, you know, and also being in a creative scene, you know, creator's going to create. And it's never really bothered me. I think most of the ones I see are pretty different from mine. Every once in a while I see some that look like pretty similar to mine. But yeah, it's like I'm still doing great business, and the way I see it, there's only like one BabaCool, and it's more motivation for me to keep my stuff unique. I don't know. I try to stay focused on what I'm doing, you know? And I think that's great. If people feel inspired to create something, that's great. Do it. Do it up. I'm not going to stop you.
We got to get you
I
on
love
Goose
that.
Tour so you can make me some goose glasses.
Yeah, I've done some custom goose glasses. I don't think I've ever made any on my own, you know, but I have done a few goose customs and people have come up with some pretty good ideas. So yeah, I'm always down to do that.
Next time Goose comes to Colorado, I will be letting you know.
Okay, please
Making
do.
sure. I have a question for my own knowledge.
Yeah.
Are there rules that Fish has about vending? Do you have to like pay to participate? How do you feel about that? Are there things that you agree with or don't agree with?
Yeah, that's a great question. It's basically as far as like setting up on Shakedown, it really varies from like venue to venue. Like that's really the venue that deals with all of that. Usually they charge you, it's usually you just have to pay for parking, you know, like $20 or something. These days Live Nation is pretty greedy, so any venue that's owned by Live Nation, they're charging like $150 to vend. Yeah, it's crazy. But Deer Creek this past weekend, totally free, and they let you leave your stuff there overnight, which was so nice. So I got to keep the same spot all weekend. I got to sleep. It was great. But yeah, as far as like how Fish feels about it, they only have 3 rules for artwork, and that's you can't use the word fish or their logo, you can't use the word Gamehenge, and I think the third one is you can't use their likeness, so like photos of them.
Oh,
And everything else is fair game.
so no one sells like homemade fish shirts.
Doesn't mean that people don't sell them.
Okay, it's not on like the
But
official
they can
logo.
get busted for that.
Gotcha. Okay, because I've definitely seen things.
Oh yeah. Yeah, people still do it.
None of your sunglasses would like say that explicit.
No. Yeah.
Crazy.
Yeah, just lyrics.
Now, are you allowed to use the donut logo, the circle?
So that is not copyright. So that is free
Yeah.
range. That's why it's like so rampant. And actually they tried to trademark that years ago and it didn't happen.
I feel like they must love though that people like fan created things. It just means people are engaged and yeah, they
do, and they encourage it.
right.
Yeah, they're still making their money,
That's
you know? Yeah, those are their only rules. And other than that, they're like, yeah, get creative. And I think that's great. I think it's great that they have those rules because it
Right?
does encourage people to be more creative.
Going back to the Taylor Swift thing, I'm not a Swiftie, but like I love seeing like the Taylor Swift in the fish logo on shirts or Eras Tour, but it's fish.
Yeah. Oh, I love that one. Yeah, I love
Brilliant.
the whoever did that one, the Eras Tour t-shirt with the fish pictures. So creative.
So my group will have stickers that say that's like the Eras Tour style, and then it says Monda Green on it. So we'll have to get you one.
Awesome.
Monda
Yeah, I
Green.
would love that.
I'll come find you and I'll give you one.
Yeah, I'm not a Swiftie either, but I'm very like fascinated by the culture. And my sister is a huge Swiftie, and like she's the one that got me into making the Taylor Swift glasses. And I have a bunch of friends who are Swifties, like not the same level that my sister is. They were, you know, going to Eras Tour, and so they had me make a bunch of glasses for them. Yeah, I was like, I guess I should sell these.
Like,
She's just Taylor has such a huge reach. Like she's so prolific that like, yeah, I had some Taylor Swift glasses with me this weekend at Deer Creek and they all sold out like first day. And then still people were coming by like, you have any Taylor Swift glasses?
Yeah, you might have to switch from being fish to Taylor.
I know, right? I'm just trying to do it all.
Might have to hire some employees to do that.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah.
Where can people find you online?
Online, I am at Shop BabaCool on Instagram. Also on Facebook, Shop BabaCool, and shopbabacool.com. I'm also on Etsy, but I would prefer for you to shop my website because Etsy takes a huge chunk in fees these days. And I would actually encourage anyone to like, if you're on Etsy and about to buy something, go do a Google search, see if they have a website because chances are they do, and they definitely want you to support them directly because Etsy has gone downhill. Let's just say that. And yeah, if you want to really support artists, like figure out if you can support them directly.
That is great advice. You said you didn't have any.
Yeah.
That is it.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, and also I would say for people who are just starting selling things, Etsy is a great place to start because that search engine is a great way. I mean, it's basically like an Amazon for creators. So like if you're kind of struggling to get a following, and especially now when Instagram, it's hard to get that organic following. Yeah, I would say start with Etsy, and if you're able to like get a good following there, then maybe look into moving to like Shopify or Square and start your own website so that you can be getting the full profit, instead of paying the middleman.
All right, I have one more question. Something we ask almost everyone who comes on. We are the Femme Flock. We love supporting women, minorities, people whose voices aren't typically the ones bolstered in the scene. Who are your strong female role models?
Right now, it's Chaperone. I am obsessed with Chaperone, and she's so young, and she's just this young queer girl from the Midwest, singer-songwriter, and she's been around, like she's been doing this for like 10 years.
Right?
And all of a sudden, like this past tour, she started going viral on TikTok because she's amazing, and she does all this like incredible drag, and like she's such a great performer. She's such an amazing singer, such an amazing songwriter. I'm so happy for the success that she's experiencing right now, and I really hope that I get to see her live soon. And it just makes me so happy to see like a woman, like a girl really, like
Right?
experiencing such levels of success, and like that she's empowering the queer community. I just love it.
What's your favorite song off of her album?
Pink Pony Club for sure.
That's fair.
Yeah, it like makes me I like
good.
start tearing up. I'm like singing it in the car, and I'm like, let me just turn this all the way up so I can't hear myself. This is really bad.
I'm the opposite. My favorite is Super Graphic Ultra Modern Girl because I want to like scream into the void.
That one's probably like close second. Yeah, that one's great.
I love it. She really came out of nowhere, but as you said, she's been doing this forever.
Yeah, just going
Last
totally
year.
under the radar. Yeah,
month.
and I am making Chaperone sunglasses too. So all you Chapel fans out there, get your glasses, get your Pink Pony Club.
Oh,
My kink is karma.
good luck, babe.
Red wine supernova.
I love it. Thank you so much for coming on.
Thank you so much for having me. It's a pleasure.
Of course. We're excited to see you on Lot. We will absolutely be following up about a Femme Flock collab.
Absolutely.
And we really appreciate your time and you being here.
Yeah, thanks for having me. It's an honor and a pleasure. So good to talk to y'all.
Yeah, thank you so much.
Hey everybody, this is Nikki. We have Kara and Jess and a special guest Maggie with us. We're going to talk a little bit about fashion and how that relates to our scene. Hi Maggie, welcome to the pod.
Hi, so excited to be here. This is really fun.
We're extremely happy to have you.
Maggie, tell us a little bit about yourself, where you're from, what do you do for a living, then how you got into the jam scene.
My name is Maggie. I'm 31, born and raised in Northern California. I have lived here my entire life, but I'm moving to New England at the end of the month, which I'm really excited about. I'm an ICU travel nurse, specializing in trauma surgical ICU. I travel with my boyfriend Patrick and our 4-year-old golden retriever Murphy. How I got into the jam scene, we can go all the way back to 2011. I was really into like EDM, Space Nectar kind of music, and there was like a theme that followed him, and then that led me into a 180 to bluegrass music, and I got really into jamgrass with Sky Bluegrass. And then jamgrass led to kind of starting to dabble with fish. There's like a big jam scene kind of culture in North Lake Tahoe where I was living. And then I really got into it when I met my boyfriend Patrick, and he told me, I've seen fish 49 times. And I go, ooh, tell me more. And that was in like 2019, 2020.
Are you into is it California Honey Drops?
I love the California Honey Drops. I just saw them at the High School Music Festival. I've seen them a lot. They play all over Northern California. They're at every festival. Like they come through Tahoe multiple times a year. So they're fun. They're a lot of fun.
Only just heard of them because my cousin also lives in the Stamford area. And he was like, oh, you like jam music? You should check them out. And they're coming to New York City this fall. So I'm really excited.
Yeah, they're a party.
I think I saw them open for Dave Matthews, California Honey Drips, like a long time ago.
I wouldn't know.
Yeah, they're
I'm
fun.
gonna go in blind.
Tell us about your dad getting down as an usher at Fish. That was like
Oh my
one of
God.
the first things I saw of you, and I was like, I love this. I'm in love with this right now.
Okay, yes. So I guess I'm gonna have to rewrite how I got into the jam scene completely because my parents are huge deadheads.
Oh!
So my claim to fame is I feel like I'm one of the very only 31-year-olds who has seen Jerry live in concert.
Wow.
My parents took me to shows when I was itty bitty little baby, and I was like the little kid with like the big earmuffs on, toddling around the field. And so I grew up, actually I have a dead sweatshirt on right now. I grew up listening to a lot of the Grateful Dead and a lot of kind of like jam music. We called it spin dancing music. My parents would just like spin around the living room when we were little, like listening to it.
I love it.
So my dad retired a couple years ago, and he decided as his like retirement fun gig, he's going to be a volunteer usher for Another Planet Entertainment. And Another Planet Entertainment they kind of like run all the shows at the Greek Theater in Berkeley, the Fox Theater in Oakland. There's like a venue in Napa that like Widespread plays at. And there's one more in San Francisco. So he started like volunteer ushering. And it's like a great way for him to go to all the shows he wants to see and new bands that he wants to check out for free. Because most of the times when you're ushering, you're still like in the venue area.
So we went to the Greek Theater for Fish, and tickets were really, really hard to get. So my dad was like, well, don't worry about getting me a ticket. I'm just gonna usher and you guys just get your tickets. Run Like an Antelope comes on, and I think, no, Possum. And Possum and Antelope are like two of my dad's favorite Fish songs. And we're like dancing, and my boyfriend taps me on the shoulder and he goes, Maggie, look at your dad. And he is just in his usher outfit. He's in the friends and family section in his usher outfit, and he's just like air guitaring and like finger gunning. So of course I immediately have to like whip out my phone, and I'm like, oh my God, this is too good. This is so funny. I posted it online, only like 200 followers on Twitter at the time, and it literally blew up. Like I woke up in the morning with it had being seen 10,000 times already. Then Funk Your Face picked it up and put it on their Instagram account as like a reel. And then I had like commented like, oh my God, this is my dad in my video. He has so much fun. He loves ushering. He loves the jam scene. And Funk Your Face reached out to me and sent my parents a whole care package of sunglasses, fish tumblers, like a stash box, all this cool stuff. It was my dad's little claim to fame. And every time I now am out, especially in the Bay Area at a show, and I know someone there, they always are like, oh, is your dad here? Especially if it's someone I've met from Twitter. They're like, oh, is your dad here? Is that all I'm good for is my dad?
Just want to know your dad.
Yeah, my parents are awesome, and I go to a lot of shows with them. I've been to Goose shows with them. We went to Jamaica for like Island Exodus, which is Government Mules, like international thing. We've done that with them. I've done Fish Halloween with my parents. We have a lot of fun.
That's so cool.
We brought you on because we saw you shared a little thread on Twitter about festival fashion and fashionette shows. And it's something that's really important to us because, we want to be cute at shows. So can you talk just a little bit about like what inspired you to start that thread and how you've collected all of those artists and designers over your time in the scene?
Yeah, so I guess since even like when I first started going to EDM shows when I was in high school and in college and stuff, I always took concerts as a really fun excuse to dress up, dress out of your personal style, experiment with new things. And that's just kind of how it like started and how it's kind of evolved. I will say this is like my disclaimer on the whole thing is personal style is so unique and so personal. And just because I like it or we like it does not, you can hate it. Like that's fine. I think the biggest thing is to be comfortable and confident in what you're wearing. And I've been to so many shows and festivals where I was either super uncomfortable because I was wearing something that just wasn't my style, or I was like trying to fit in, or I was just wearing something that wasn't comfortable to dance in and stand in all night, and it sucks. That's kind of like my disclaimer is you do you. Just because I think these things are in trend or like coming up or are popular or I like them, it's totally fine if you don't. And I think that's one thing that makes the jam scene, which is, I think it's slowly starting to get a little more diverse and unique. Yeah, I kind of started this as like, I would always see it on Twitter or the female like Facebook group, Goose Chicks, Fish Chicks. What should I wear to a show? Like, what is everyone wearing to this? And it started with me, honestly, just taking selfies of outfits that I really liked and posting them in like those groups as like comments, being like, oh, I'm wearing a skirt with my crop top and this like denim jacket and my Doc Martens. And oh, I'm going to go really fun and wear a sequins pink duster or something like that. And I think that's kind of how it started. And then as we've been getting closer to Mondegreen, I've been seeing like more and more and more posts about these. And then I went to High Sierra over the 4th of July weekend. And I was constantly taking pictures of girls' tags to like get people's brands. I have no shame. I will go up to you and ask you, what are you wearing? Where did you buy it? And how much was it? I'm like, please tell me because I want to be like you know? No shame. And
That's my secret. We're gonna talk about this later, but I'm like you. Like I'm no shame, and I live in New York City, and I love clothes. And I think just like a jam show where people wear literally whatever they want, New York City, people wear whatever they want, and it's like just how people show their own personal style, and it's so cool. And I get inspired every time I walk outside. So I'll be on the subway and I'll be like, oh my God, I love that girl's shoes. So I'll take a picture and then I'll put it into Google Lens, and then it'll pull up all the links of those shoes, but also like a million others. And then I'll find it on Poshmark or Depop, and I'll buy it new with tags secondhand for a third of the price.
always, I'm always doing stuff like that.
And I just take pictures of everyone.
I love
So-
that.
That's not creeper at all. No,
Sure.
totally normal.
Yeah.
I look good.
At least Maggie goes up to the person and
Yeah,
asks
I don't think
them.
I would do that if I was like on the subway, like asking for permission at a show or like
Yeah.
a crowd.
People are friendlier.
Yeah, I'm like, oh my God, hi, what are you wearing? And they're like, I have no idea. And I'm like, can I see the tag?
I love it. I'm like you, where like I'll always post like what I'm wearing to a show because I think about it and I put in effort and I plan it. I think I look cute, and so you all should see me.
Yeah, the jam scene is painfully male and casual, and I am trying to bring a little bit of fun and glitter and personal style into the jam scene. And if it's just me, great. If other people want to also be doing that, hell yeah, let's do it together. But yeah, at High Sierra, I found all these really cool vendors that I've seen over and over and over again. And so I was like, you know what? I really need to start creating a list. So honestly, at the festival, I started like writing lists of all these vendors I liked. And then online on Twitter and Facebook afterwards, all these people were asking where to buy clothes for like Mondegreen and other events coming up in like the jam scene. And so I was like, you know what? I'm going to make a list. I'm going to put it out into the universe. And my list has been seen 45,000 times. That's how many impressions it has on Twitter, which is almost as many as my dad dancing as a picture. So
yeah, I afterwards went and I actually on my computer right now have a tab of every single one you posted because I was like, I might have a shopping problem. I don't know. I just kind of wanted to see and get some inspo. So I went through all of them.
yeah, and you go like sometimes what I will do is like I think one of my favorite vendors of all time is Warrior Within Designs. I've never seen them at a jam band lot. I think they're mostly at festivals and online and craft fairs and stuff like that. But I'll go to like, who do they follow? Look at like all the accounts they follow and find
More stuff.
like more stuff. So that's how I found, I think it's Desert Bloom. And then you like start following enough these accounts, and then Instagram
The algorithm. Yep.
with the algorithm sending you more. So that's how I've honestly found like a lot of stuff. But that list is all vendors that either A, I have bought from, or B, someone I know has bought from them and I've seen the clothes in person. There's a lot of people that I could have added to that list, but I've never touched their clothes and I didn't want to be like recommending something something that I have never like touched or seen in person, because that just kind of felt disingenuous. That's kind of how that list like came to be. It just kind of like spiraled from there, and I've over the last week I've like added like more and more stuff to it.
It's a good way to do it. That's how I did tie-dyes for a while because I went down this tie-dye hole on Instagram, which is, oh gosh, there's so much good stuff in there. And I have Moon Dipper tie-dyes is where I got these
There's so
killer
many.
jumper
There's so many.
overalls that she did for Sphere. And I wore them to a couple goose shows and I get compliments on them every time I'm there. But once I followed her, I was like, well, who's she following? And there was a bunch of other tie-dye people and it just grew from there. And I found all these amazing tie-dye artists. So that is a very smart way to look for other vendors that do similar stuff. And then you can go. That's super smart way to do it.
Something else that I kind of have a follow-up question on here is when I'm on Instagram and I'm looking at vendors, I'm always worried it's a TikTok, Instagram scam. Do you have any tips on like knowing the difference between like something that's going to come from China that is just a replica of something that somebody made or it's actually an artist?
A lot of times it's really tough. On TikTok, I feel like it's really easy to kind of feel out those accounts because if you go to the person's account, they typically name is like really vague, and I think you can see where they ship from. I've never bought anything on the Instagram shop, so I don't really know how that's set up, but I feel like if the first account you go to is a vendor that you know, so say like Warrior Within Designs, and you go to their followers, I would hope that the people that they are following are also small businesses and like creators and artists. I think one way to go to feel it out is not just their like TikTok shop or Instagram shop, but go to their website. And what does their website look like? Read their about me, how like the process of how they make the clothes, the fabrics that they are using. A lot of these businesses that pride themselves in being slow fashion and not something that's from Amazon or it's higher quality, they will write this whole page on where they source their fabrics from, the dyes that they use, all that kind of stuff. And so I feel like that's a good way. A lot of these shops are, proudly made in the USA, or we are slow fashion, et cetera, et cetera. So I think that's a better way to feel it out. But it is really hard these days because some of the accounts, it's just so hard to tell. And I know that Etsy is having a really big problem with this, is drop shipping off of Etsy. And you can like report these drop shipping accounts on Etsy, but they just keep popping up over and over and over again. It's not so much with like clothing, but more like accessories. One tip I did see was that if you see something you like on Etsy or TikTok shop or like Instagram shop, put it in Google Lens.
Mm-hmm.
You put it in Google Lens, or if you put in the description into Google and then all these other drop shippers are showing up, then most likely it's coming from like a warehouse in China and someone's not making it.
Yep, I've seen that.
That's a really good way to do that.
Even when I was buying dresses for this wedding I'm going to, I saw a dress like on Instagram, put it into Google Lens, and like 10 different retailers came up that were selling it, all with like slightly different names.
Yeah.
Slightly different prices, but pretty much the same thing. That's a really good tip.
I bought this really, really cute dress from Mondegreen, and I know I never got it. It came from China, and tried to like get my money back. I bought it through PayPal for that reason, because I was like, this could be a scam. And then they fought me on PayPal and said that like I did receive it and I didn't, which PayPal sided with them. And then I put like a bad review on their Trustpilot, and they're like, we'll refund you all the money if you delete
Wow, that's crazy.
delete the review. So I deleted the review and I got my money 5 months later. So just be careful out there for sure.
Maggie, you kind of touched on this, but do you have a favorite fashion like icon or like social media account that you use for inspiration?
I really don't. I actually thought about this pretty hard. I would say I get a lot of my inspiration from just honestly going to shows and seeing what other people are wearing. I can't say that I'm a trendsetter because if I see something I like on someone, like I will probably buy it. Maybe not the exact same thing, but I will find something similar and rock that. I have a lot of friends in Tahoe who have really, really good style and like looking up to them. But in terms of like fashion festivals, it's just been years of trial and error. Of what do I like, what do I don't like, what seems really fun, that kind of thing. I'm very active on Pinterest still. Like Pinterest is still alive. People like honestly are like, oh, that's such a millennial like website. I'm like, I don't care. It's if you search really specific things, so much still pops up that's not from like 10 years ago. I don't really have anyone that I like specifically look up to. I guess just like other women at like shows or festivals or my friends.
I'm so with you there. Like, I just get inspiration from whatever's around me, and I have no shame in like, oh, that was cool. I want that. I'm gonna wear that, or I'm gonna make my own that's
Yeah.
similar. How would you like describe your own personal style within the scene or even outside of the scene? Does it cross over? Do you find yourself just wearing jam shirts like to every day, like some of us?
Yeah, so a good way to describe it would be California mountain eclectic. California mountain style, it's a little bit Western, but not as like cowboy yeehaw as say Wyoming, Montana, Colorado. It's a little more, I would say like coastally muted, so more like coastal colors involved. Less cowboy hats, big wide brim hats though. Less cowboy boots, more Blundstones. But still a lot of those like same pieces of like a lot of denim, turquoise. Now the eclectic comes in that I will put on like disco ball earrings, or I will wear like a really bright color, or I'm not afraid to try different accessories and wear heart-shaped glasses with my Blundstones and Levi's and denim shirt or something, and just kind of like throw in some like bright fun pieces with it. But you know, style is always evolving, so this is what I like today. And I think this does heavily translate over to like what I wear in like at like a concert or something. When I went to Fiddler's in Colorado, one day I wore Levi denim shorts with a graphic t-shirt that had Murphy all over it. I had 6 different photos of my dog and it said like Murphy on it. And so I wore that one day. And then the second day I wore like a black skirt from literally Aritzia. So kind of fancy, but I played it down with like, I tucked a jam shirt, literally the Goose Capitol Theater shirt.
Oh my God, same one.
You can't see. I'm
Oh, I
literally
love
wearing
that
the
shirt.
Female Goose.
I have that.
Capitol Theater
Just
shirt.
for me.
I sent her that.
That Jess got for me at
That's
the
got me
Capitol
mine
Theater.
too.
I was literally on the prowl for like, who can I look out for? Who needs things?
Always.
They don't have enough women's stuff for Goose, so or Fish or any of them.
For any jam band.
Sarah and I both bought the frog one.
Shout out to Goose. They have now 3, from what I found, 3 women's crop shirts. They did a drip field shirt, which I very sadly lost at Fish Sticks in 2022. I left it at the pool and someone definitely took it. And then they have the yellow frog shirt, which was available spring summer tour. And then they have like the cap shirt and the butterfly shirt. It's online now. So you can buy it online.
Yeah, I'm mad about that. I rushed to get one.
So that was my birthday show. So I really need to go back and buy it.
I like rushed to get them. They were out of all the sizing, so I just kind of like compromised and bought whatever they had left. And if I knew they would put it on, I would have waited.
Yeah, I have the yellow frog one too now.
That's what my daughter got when she went. But they also used to have tank tops. I have a tank top from them that was freaking awesome. It's the Goose one with the wave. That was
okay.
And they haven't had a tank top since. I'm like, more tank tops. I love them.
I think this just goes back to the scene is still overwhelmingly male, and I don't necessarily think women's merch probably does that great, because in Colorado they were like sold out of a bunch of shirts by the end of the second night, but they still had the yellow female crop top like in every size, but they were sold out of extra large shirts in almost every design because Patrick wanted to go get a shirt, and they pretty much were out of XL in like everything.
They overestimate the women that want it, but they still don't have enough design. Like if they had a couple designs in a lower count, they could probably do better than a large account in that one design. I think it might.
Yeah,
the designs that they're doing though, like, are so cute. And when the butterfly moth one at the Cap, like that did sell out at the Cap. I was like struggling to get them.
Yeah, so maybe it was a reprint, like they reprinted it and put it online or something.
That was my first complaint when I went to my first show, was that I was at the counter and I was getting, the pink shirt with the triangle on the chest. It was like the original print that they had, and they had no sizes in anything smaller than a large, and it was huge. And I'm like, nothing for women. They're like, oh no, just blowing me off. Can you put a word in for us girls that want some female products here that fit our sizes but better than the big dudes? And he's like, yeah, whatever.
Do you know who has really great merch for women? Karina Reichman.
Oh,
makes sense.
Yeah.
She is a girl. But
yeah.
when I walked by
Yeah.
her merch table,
Yeah.
the last show we went to in the city, I was like, I would wear every single thing.
That's a good thing, though.
She has good merch and good posters. And she has great style.
Yes.
Okay. She is someone that when she's wearing something, I make mental note of it and I'm like, where do I find that? But she posted an outfit on one of her like stage outfits on
flower
her Twitter, a photo. I think so. I can't remember if it was the flower one or another like jumpsuit she had. And I straight up DM'd her and asked her like where she got it. And I found it and
Is it the like tennis flower one? It was like a tight like leggings and a like
Yep.
track jacket.
I think so. Yeah.
That was the show we went to. That's the New York City show.
Yeah.
She's a New York City girl. She has good style.
Yeah.
New York City girlies, we know.
She has great style. I think like bridging like fun style and like your own personal style is really fun at like jam shows. I don't wear a lot of sequins or like bright colors every day in my personal life. The sequins, the shiny, the kind of like fancier items, I definitely like bringing those out at festivals and like shows and stuff. And it's a fun way to stand out in a crowd of tie-dye and cargo shorts. It's really fun to stand out in your pink sequins or brighter colors or even just a skirt. It's fun.
Do you have any like favorite trends that you've been seeing in the fashion scene, like the jam scene?
Okay, so I think trends are very regionally influenced. I've been to 2 shows on the East Coast. I went to 2 shows of the Taboos tour. I went to Lowell, Mass, and Mohegan Sun. But I've been to a lot of shows, especially in California, Oregon, Colorado, Nevada. And I think it's very different out here, especially the shows on the East Coast. Like I felt like they were a lot more casual, and which is kind of interesting. And on the West Coast, I feel like I see a lot more of Blundstones, big wide brim hats, a lot more like flowy skirts, that kind of vibe.
I mean, the thing we've been seeing everywhere is just the sprouts. Everyone's been sprouting this season.
Okay, that I've been seeing out here for like a couple of years now, and I still just don't get it.
You're growing.
It's a festival thing. Like it started as a festival thing.
I first
That's all
started
I
seeing them
know.
like literally those sprouts. I feel like I used to see them at Pretty Lights concerts back like pre-pandemic. The little like sprout guys. I feel like if we're gonna talk about like hats, I feel like the big like structured ball caps are kind of going out, and like 5 panels and more like simple like baseball caps are coming in rather than like trucker hats or flat brim type hats.
I'm so on board with that.
Same. A lot of what I've been seeing out here is like a lot of corduroy, a lot of denim on denim. Every brand out here right now has corduroy hats. Tons of corduroy hats. Like Patrick has like a corduroy goose hat from the TGR collab.
Andrew has a corduroy TGR hat.
I literally have like 3 corduroy hats. But I also think like I've been seeing a lot more like crop tops are like very in like the regular world. I think we're seeing that a lot more, especially with like the crops like girl shirts or just crop tops in general with like flowy dusters, flowy skirts, like things that are very organic. I feel like as much as like glitter and that kind of stuff is like really, really fun, I think overall I see a lot more of trend moving to like a more like organic trend rather than sequins and sparkles, which is great. But I'm just saying, like, at least on the West Coast, I feel like I see flowy skirts, crop tops, denim skirts, the short denim skirts, like denim jackets. What else have I been seeing?
I've been seeing a lot of neons.
That's so funny because on the East Coast, I feel like I've been seeing more of a like the intersection between like the jam scene and the rave scene.
Yeah.
And it's been much more like glitter, neon, things that you'd see at like your typical like rave festival. I've been seeing at goose shows and jam festivals.
Yeah.
Which is really
So,
interesting.
I mean, obviously, like daytime versus nighttime can be very different as well. In the summer, I think I didn't really go to a lot of shows like last winter and like the summer before that. I think just also the intersection of like an indoor arena show, I feel like is going to skew more towards sparkle, glitter, rave scene, jam band intersection. Whereas like on the West Coast, and I think we have a lot more outdoor West Coast shows because our outdoor season is so much longer because we can have outdoor shows from April to November, April to December even. I mean, honestly, we can have outdoor shows all winter as long as it's not raining in California. And so I feel like when they're outside, it's a lot more of like the organic flowy skirts, Birkenstocks, a lot of, you know, think of San Francisco, like hippie movement. Tie-dye is very strong here. I will say one thing I do see a lot less of, especially from the younger people at jam shows. So like when I say younger people, I'm talking about, I'm 31. I consider myself still fairly young at a jam show. So people in their like maybe 20s to like early 30s, mid 30s, it's a lot less tie-dye. I honestly think people who are wearing tie-dyes are a little bit older. My dad loves to wear tie-dye. My mom loves to wear tie-dye. They're in their 60s. I have 2 tie-dye shirts, maybe 3. But I have like the Thundershout Taylor Swift tie-dye shirt, and then I have the Goose TGR ice dyed shirt. I don't gravitate towards them as much, so I feel like that I'm seeing like that less. I don't know. That's kind of what I feel like I'm seeing, but it's very different even from like the Bay Area to Lake Tahoe is very different. Tahoe is going to be more kind of that like mountain western kind of feel. And then that's going to be very different from like the Bay Area, which is kind of more like the tie-dye, hippie, flowy kind of feel versus like Colorado versus like New England versus like the Southeast. I feel like it's very, very different. But one thing I'm very excited that I've seen a lot is denim jumpsuits and rompers.
I literally almost purchased one last week. I
have
myself.
a denim romper in my cart on Nuuly that if it's not too hot, I really want to wear it to Mondegreen.
It might
be
too
hot. Like I can tell you right now.
I definitely think it's too hot, but you know, a girl can wish. And
damn, night you can put it on at night for your nighttime outfit.
Yeah, it would be a nighttime. It would be like a night
set
thing.
Sure, second set outfit change. Why not?
I have found, this is my plug for Nuuly, I have found a lot of really, really, really fun things to wear on Nuuly. So the pink sequins duster that was like pink purple ombre that I wore to High Sierra, that is from Nuuly. A like another floor length flowy lighter weight duster that is from Nuuly. I have like some tie-dye overalls that are short that I found on there that I'm gonna hopefully wear at Mondegreen. You can find a lot of really cool stuff on Nuuly. You just have to like be really specific when you're searching for stuff.
Oh yeah, everyone I know in the city uses Nuuly. Just like for work clothes, for all the wedding season. I've never thought about it for jam shows because I feel like they're probably nicer than I want quality wise for a jam show. I don't know what's gonna happen.
You spilling a beer on a really nice $100 shirt isn't worth it.
Well,
I mean, you can and send it back. Like you can wear your clothes.
You can pretty much trash the clothes and send them back.
Holy crap.
Yeah, I mean,
I feel guilty
the
about
pink
that.
duster I brought to High Sierra was like, if you were to retail buy it, it was like over $300. And I'm not going to spend that, but I'll rent it, you know.
It's $98 a month for 6 items of clothing.
Wow, that's pretty good.
It's so common in the city. You Rent the Runway used to be more common, but now Nuuly's really picked up traction.
So on that topic, one of Jess's passions is thrifting, and we call it frugal flocking. Can you share some advice for like thrifting and like finding, alternative ways to purchase clothing that, might not hurt people's budgets?
Yeah, this is something that I love to do. I also love the term frugal flocking. I think it's amazing. But my biggest piece of advice is one, patience. You have to be patient. Like you're not going to go in to every thrift store and find the most amazing thing. And so that kind of leads into don't just buy something to buy it because it's cheaper. I have a friend who will go into like a thrift store and she's like, well, I mean, like I kind of like it, but it like kind of doesn't really fit me, but it was only like $5. And I'm like, well, it doesn't fit you and you don't really like it. Like, why'd you buy it? And so I think like still remembering, like go into these stores, yes, with like an open mind, but when you're buying something, think about where you could wear this. And if you can't think of something very quickly, don't buy it because you're probably then never going to wear it. And it's just going to end up being more waste in your closet. And my third tip is always just pop in to a vintage or thrift store. I will be out running errands and like, I don't even live in a city. I live in a very suburban type environment, but I'll just be out running errands and I'm like, oh, a vintage store. I'm just going to pop in there. You never know what you're going to find. And I have found some really, really cool. I personally only really have luck with like jackets, accessories, bags at thrift stores. I've never really had a lot of luck with like shirts and jeans, except for like I found some like graphic tees that are kind of fun. I don't know. You just have to go in with an open mind. Don't just buy to buy something and just have to be so patient. Like the amount of times I go into a thrift store and come out with nothing is more times than I go into a thrift store and I come out with something amazing.
Definitely. You never know what's going to be there.
Yeah, you just never know. You just got to go in. You just got to see. That's kind of how I look at it. I also never have luck at like the bigger quote unquote thrift stores like Goodwill and Salvation Army. That may just be like a me thing, but I have a lot more luck at like the smaller kind of like local type thrift stores. So up in North Lake Tahoe, we have one in Tahoe City that benefits the hospice program at the hospital. And then we have another one that benefits the Humane Society in Truckee. And I feel like that's a lot of where locals are taking their stuff rather than to like Goodwill in Reno or something like that. A lot of times I feel like if a store is advertised as a vintage store, not a thrift store, then they're going to be more selective with what they take and put out. And the prices may be a little bit higher at a vintage store, depending on like where you are and who owns it. But I think their items are a lot more curated and I have a lot more luck at those kind of stores. Also, there has been way more vintage quote vendors at music festivals and like craft fairs and farmers markets, that these vintage stores are doing essentially like little pop-ups at these like vending type opportunities, and I have found a ton of stuff that way. Like the jacket I bought a denim jacket, and on the back it has this like cutout that says something about like summoning demons and how it's a children's activity. And I found that at a vintage pop-up at a music festival. You just never know what you're gonna find. You just have to always be eyes looking around.
That's amazing.
One of my worst qualities is every time I walk by any thrift or vintage store in New York City, I will pop in. And there's a lot. And actually, I list out like 15 of my favorites in that big guide to New York City that I made, because I spend so much of my time doing that. And you find that whatever neighborhood you're in, the store kind of takes on the personality of that neighborhood. In the East Village, it's kind of like punk rocky, definitely younger. And then in NoHo or Chelsea, it's a little more professional. And like you can see like in New York City, girls just wear something that's designer and then drop it off. And so I've had crazy luck at some of these stores. And so or anytime I walk by, I have to walk in, and it's bad.
You don't have to. You want.
I have to. It's a compulsion. Nikki, you and I went thrifting in the city together.
That was crazy.
I often will make a list. I have like all these lists on my phone, and one of them is things I'm looking for versus things I want. So like things I want will be because this is how I stop myself from like overspending. So for example, something on the things I want list right now are some like fun items for Mondegreen that I have specifically picked out, but I'm like, is it worth spending this money on it? And if I keep going back to it over and over again on my list, then I think it's worth it. Another item that's been sitting on this things I want list for like literally 9 months is a Hatch alarm clock. I finally took it off and was like, I don't need this, and took it off the list. So it's my way of kind of like trying to stop from like over consuming. And then my other list is like things I'm looking for. I'm not bringing my black fur coat to New England with me. I am now when I get out there, I'm going to be looking for a new like faux fur coat from like a vintage store or something like that. Like another thing I'm looking for is a denim jumpsuit, like a bell-bottom denim jumpsuit. And I feel like you look hard enough, you can find those in like thrift stores and stuff. I'm also not opposed to buying it new, but it's just like things that I know I want.
Yeah, no, if you can buy it used, thrifted, new with tags, but resale, like I'm so for that. But I think that's
I was gonna say I buy a lot on Poshmark.
I buy everything on Poshmark.
Yeah, especially if you want something from say Abercrombie, Madewell, Levi's, some like bigger, like not bigger, like bigger brands. I always look on Poshmark before buying it new, and like 9 times out of 10 I can find it on there.
How do you feel about eBay? Like, have you used eBay to do any shopping? Because they have a lot of clothes like that. I bought shoes.
Yep, I buy a lot of shoes off eBay. So for example, I've bought like 3 pairs of Danskos that I wear at work on eBay, and I can find some like really unique old style Danskos that aren't really in style anymore, and you look different from every other nurse wearing Danskos. I have found a couple years ago for Fish Halloween, I think was it New Year's 2019, The fish gag was that they all wore like one color jumpsuit, and then they all had matching like minions essentially behind them. It's the year Trey got stuck.
The clones.
So we dressed up as two clones. So I was yellow, so I was Mike, and then my boyfriend had blue, so he was Paige. But I found literally the exact same shoes that Mike wore on stage in my size on eBay. They were Vans,
so cool.
but he wore yellow corduroy, or like a yellow like corduroy velvet type fabric high top Van on stage, and I pretty much found the exact same shoe on eBay in my size.
That's awesome.
Amazing.
That's awesome.
And then it was really fun because that was for Halloween in 2021, and we found like a bunch of other people who were also dressed up as clones, and we have like a bunch of pictures with like strangers.
You're dressed up as clones.
And we're all the clones.
That's the best. I love it. That's great. Yeah, because eBay, I use that for a lot of shoes because I need safety shoes for work, and so I use that quite often. Bought some sandals off of there because you can find cute sandals for pretty cheap. But I didn't know about clothes wise if they had. I don't think I've ever. My girlfriend used to shop a lot on eBay she worked in a professional environment, and she would go on eBay and get a bunch of clothes from there for work. So I didn't know if you guys ever use that for clothing part of it or not, or just the shoes like
I think I mostly have bought shoes. I've bought like a couple pairs of like fried boots on eBay over the years, but for something really popular like the used fry boots, you end up in like a bidding situation. But the Vans I bought for Halloween, there was like a buy now option, so I just bought them.
You guys need to teach me how to use eBay.
I use eBay for a lot of stuff.
I'm still very kind of like confused with how to use eBay. My dad actually was a big eBay guy, and he had like all these tips and tricks. Like this was back, like when eBay was like new, and he had all these like tricks and like paid for a service that would like throw your bid in at like the last minute for like 1 penny higher. And like, eBay, there's a lot of like,
if I have to bid on it, I'm not getting it. I'll just buy it. If you are selling it for a regular price, I will buy it, but I'm not doing any bidding stuff. I don't do it.
Yeah, but this is when eBay was like bid only.
Oh yeah, they started out that way. Yeah, that was a long time ago.
Yeah, I was probably in like high school.
Like the beginning of the internet.
Like literally the beginning. I'm not kidding. Literally the beginning of the internet.
It was a long time ago. Yeah. Yeah. Like I said, I don't do any bidding. I won't do it. It's not that serious. So I will just go buy, and they have like a lot of overruns or extras from people that had things made and they didn't sell, and they put them like in big lots for cheap. So I get a lot of stuff like my coffee. I do Nespresso pods on there.
Can you share a favorite piece you've brought from like a local artist and the story behind it, or like some sort of memorable fashion moment or outfit that you've purchased or put together yourself?
Okay, so I think the first thing that pops into my mind is, first I'm going to disclaim that this was before Base Nectar became problematic, but a concert that is like really near and dear to my heart is my first time ever at Red Rocks and in Colorado in general was Base Nectar in 2015. It was right after I graduated from college. I wore this like amazing tank top. It was like a bleach tie-dye Base Nectar shredded tank top with like really fun like kind of pashmina scarf and like a mini skirt and like combat boots. And that was my first ever time kind of like experimenting with different things to wear to shows. So that one really sticks out. But more recently, I am absolutely obsessed with the pink outfit I wore at High Sierra. The pink crushed velvet bell bottoms and like the pink sequins, like floor length duster. And I had space buns with pink sunglasses and a pink little clear bag and pink glitter all over. I think that is like, I'm always going to be chasing the high of that outfit.
Wear it again.
Oh yeah, it's going to be high in the rotation from like here on forward. And
better see it at Mondegreen because we got to get pictures together.
Okay, but I think it's going to be way too hot to wear
crushed velvet bell bottoms.
Maybe not at night. You should bring it just in case.
Quite dirty. It's a festival, a fish festival, no less, and they get very dirty.
That's fine.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
I buy something knowing I'm going to be really hard on it and just accepting that.
Good for you. Because
I want to for me to feel like I got my money out of it, I'm going to be wearing it constantly. And that just puts wear on the clothes.
True.
One thing I haven't worn this out yet, but I bought it recently. It is a full tie-dye set I know I'm like tie-dye's going out of style, but I bought this set from Warrior Within Designs, and they're blue bell bottoms. It's like a bamboo fabric, so they're really breathable. So I think I'm gonna be able to wear this to Mondegreen. They're blue bell bottoms, and then on the sides is this in and out kind of flowy tie-dye pattern, and then I bought the matching crop top with it. I am very excited to wear that to Mondegreen, but I open my closet like every day and I see it sitting there and I'm like, I cannot wait to wear this. And so it's my newest thing from Warrior Within Designs, and this is my plug for them. I don't know them. I've just bought a ton of stuff from them, and they are a local San Francisco company. I met the guy that does all their tie-dyes. He basically was handed down a tie-dye business from his father and his grandfather and learned all these like very unique old school ways of tie-dyeing. It's not just, you stick it and you don't just wrap it in rubber bands and like dye on it. He's making like very organic, flowy type shapes with his tie-dye that I think is really unique. They also have a ton of like crushed velvet bell bottoms, onesies, two pieces, shorts, and their stuff is amazing and the quality is unmatched. Like I have a pair of velvet bell bottoms I've been wearing from them for 5 or 6 years now, and they still are in like perfect condition. And I wear them all the time.
And do you wash them and dry them? Like, how do you take it?
All my like quote unquote fragile stuff. So like anything that's bell bottom, velvet, sequins, I wash it normally, maybe on like a delicate cycle, and then I hang dry it.
Cool.
I wash everything on cold except for my work scrubs. Everything else gets washed on cold.
That
Right on.
sounds
That's the way to do it. Keep things lasting longer is wash it on cold.
I also want to say that Warrior Within Designs has a great plus size section too.
Oh, I didn't know that. That's awesome.
Yeah, I'm just like scrolling the website right now because I'm interested in what they have because you're explaining it. I'm like, oh, I've definitely run across their website before, but
I was just going to say that I've seen their website
yeah.
a few times and had like a cart full at one point and was like, can't do it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I guess I bought my first thing from them in 2018.
Mhm.
So I mean, this has been like what, 6 years now or like just slowly buying stuff from them. They are expensive, but the quality, I promise you, matches how much you are paying for them. Another brand I really like recently has been Damselfly.
Mhm.
All their stuff is like really nice organic cotton. It's really, really breathable. I will say that their sizing is a little iffy. They say, so they have like basically quote unquote 2 sizes, 0 to 6 and 8 to 14, which is, I know it's kind of weird.
That's a weird stretch. 8 to 14.
Yeah, so I'm a 6/8, sometimes up to a 10, depending on the brand. Like literally, I can fit into like a 4 to a 10, depending on the brand, because we all know women's sizing is
It's
wild.
fake.
Sucks, yeah.
Women's sizing is fake.
It's horrible.
I bought the 8 to 14 shorts, and I wish I had bought in the 0 to 6 shorts because they are very stretchy, and it stretches because it's cotton. I have been really liking them. I will have 2 different outfits from them for Mondegreen to wear during the day when it's like a million bajillion degrees out because the stuff's really breathable. Also, since you guys have BabaCool on, the quality of her sunglasses is top notch. I have 2 pairs of sunglasses from her, and they have survived fish sticks, Fish in Vegas, multiple like camping music festivals. I wear them out in the real world sometimes. I wear them to like all these different shows. I have never lost a bead, a sparkle, a rhinestone, or anything on those sunglasses. I don't know what she does, what kind of magic she instills. They have never broken. Her stuff is
Real thing.
top notch. Yeah,
Right
top
on.
notch. I met her once and she was really kind.
I think I mentioned on your thread that like I like to make things. I bought a bedazzler because I could, and I tried bedazzling some jeans, and now every time I wear them, like I lose jewels, and I just have a train of loose gems. So I need to figure out how to like make them stick, because I'm like I have a bunch of those like heart-shaped sunglasses. I'm like that'd be so fun to bedazzle and like bags, and I don't know. I'm just like whenever I have time, I'm like I want to do that. But I also am like, what if they fall out?
Yeah.
I have to redo it.
Leave it to the professionals.
Thank you so much for chatting with us. We always close out with the question of who is a strong female role model in your life? We want to hear this from everybody who joins us because it's so important.
So I have 2 that I've been thinking of. The first, if we're gonna go for women in the jam scene, I'm gonna have to shout out my mom. My mom has been in more Grateful Dead shows than my dad. She's amazing. She's been in the jam scene, the dead scene since like the late 70s. She always loves to say she was at UVM when Fish was getting their start because they're the same age. So yeah, she was at UVM when Fish was getting their start, and she's always a fun time at a concert. She's very chatty. If you ever see me with my parents, my mom will love to talk to you. And then for someone else, I read a lot of books. I've read 43 books this year, but my favorite author is Sarah J. Maas. She writes a lot of fantasy romance books, and she writes, not necessarily like her is a strong female, but the female she writes in her books are literally incredible. And all of her books, the overall theme is women saving the world and the power of women and the power of female friendship. And she writes some really, really badass, strong female characters that have really inspired me in my life. And like, I just read those books and I'm like, oh, I want to be her female lead characters. I want, like, especially her series Throne of Glass, it just comes down to women saving the world.
Wow.
That's awesome.
That is such a good answer,
Yes.
and would never have expected that. I love it.
Also, I recently watched the Simone Biles documentary, and that girl is tough as shit and has overcome so much in her life. And she's such an advocate for female sports and mental health and putting your mental health first. I think she's super
Queen.
inspiring.
Total queen.
Right on.
Maggie,
Anyway.
thank you so much for joining us.
Yes, thank you.
Thank you.
This has been
This
so
was fantastic.
fun. I'm so glad we found some time to
Yes.
chat. And I think there were so many good nuggets like within this conversation for women in their daily lives and at shows and just fashion advice generally. Thank you so much for coming on.
Yeah, thanks for having me. And if I can leave with one thing, it's that power to the women at jam band concerts. Shine bright like the diamond that you are. Don't let these men control your experience at a jam show. The jam scene is for women, and we deserve to be there just as much as men do. And wear your sparkles and your sequins or whatever you want to wear. Shine uniquely. We belong to be there, even if we're short and we can't see and
Don't get me started.
Yeah. Woo-hoo.
I'm not gonna lie, I actually have goosebumps right now. So thank you so much for saying that. It was amazing.
I am all about female energy and femininity and expressing yourself how you want to.
That's why we're here.
This has been so much fun. Like, seriously, thank you so much.
This pod is made by women for everyone. We wouldn't be here without you, and we want to hear from all of you. Please go to our website, guest fill-in form, DM us on Twitter or Instagram, and let us know what you're up to. We're planning segments to cover it all. Are you starting a new fashion line? Volunteering with the community? Did something in the jam scene change your life? Come tell us about it. We wouldn't be doing our job if we didn't ask you to follow us on all the socials and rate us on your favorite podcast app. Talk to y'all soon.